Hey. What up, though? What up, though? This is Keeping Up with the Cardassians, YouTube style.
Exclusive.
This is Nick.
This is Rob.
That's Joe.
Oh.
Dang, you kind of ruined it.
You screwed that up, man.
You ruined it. But welcome to our exclusive because, we have not been able to talk Star Trek on the show lately. And Star Trek Picard is out.
Yeah.
And we got to talk about it. And Joe has been way into Star Trek Picard.
Oh,
way
very
into
much.
it.
Every single episode.
Twice.
I can spell Picard.
Yes, he can. Spell it.
P-I
K.
Card.
Yeah.
Picard.
Picard. No, it would be Picard.
Picard.
Pie
Oh,
would be P-I-E.
That's how she pronounces it on
No,
the show.
pie.
Picard.
Well, it depends on what kind of pie. The number pie is PI.
Is it pecan pie?
If it's 3.1415.
Great
This is
content,
terrible
guys.
conversation.
Great content,
anyways,
guys.
we're here to talk about Star Trek Picard Season 3, and though we joked about Joe being so obsessed with it, Joe has not seen a single episode.
Because he sucks.
I have not.
So these reviews kind of work as a way to encourage Joe to watch the show.
And he helps mediate.
And it's obviously working.
It's obviously working because he's gotten way into watching nothing at all.
Yeah.
I'm more into Picard, having seen as many episodes of Picard as I have, than I am Scrubs, though.
That's a very good point. So today we got an episode to review with you, and as you know, there's going to be spoilers in it. So by the time you watch this, though, you'll get that. So we're reviewing The Bounty today, and let's just start with this. The Bounty isn't about a bounty on the crew. It's about
Paper towel.
a famous ship in Star Trek history
true.
that you should actually know about.
Yep.
I do know.
What was the Bounty?
It's the one in the Whales movie, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
The Cleon ship. They rename it the Bounty.
Yep.
So they
as dumb as I
it's
look.
about the bounty, which about this. So, anyways, let me sum up the episode. Worf and Raffi board the Titan, and now they make a plan that they're going to infiltrate the Daystrom Institute. But as they're starting to make this plan, Starfleet arrives. They have to run again, and they're like, "Who can we trust?" Oh, Geordi LaForge. So they call up Geordi LaForge, and they're like, "Geordi, we need your help. We need to break into this." And Geordi's like, "I can't help you. I got a family now. Like, you were my family, but I got kids. I can't help you. And Geordi's kid is like, "Bro, you taught me that my crew is my family. So you got to help." So Geordi decides to help. But in the meantime, the away team has beamed an away team of Worf, Raffi, and Riker has beamed over to the Daystrom Institute to find whatever the bad guys are trying to get. There's a bigger weapon on this station that they're trying to get, and they're trying to figure it out. And they find out that all this information is held in basically data. There's a data clone there, and it's not actually data. It's basically like Picard is now. It's like an android, but it's synthetic body. So
And it's not data. It's multiple.
it's data, it's lore, it's B4,
Soong.
and Soong. So it's all these different people in there. They take it off the ship. And while this is happening, Starfleet arrives again. And they're like, how the heck are they tracking us? And Geordi says basically that they're tracking because all Starfleet ships are now interlocked in the future. Like, there's no way.
They're all networked.
They all talk to each other. They're all networked. So they said, what are we supposed to do? And Jack, who is Picard's son, says, wait, doesn't the Bounty have a cloaking device
But
on it?
why the bounty? Because they're at the museum.
They're at the Starfleet Museum, the museum of all the old Star Trek ships. So you
All
have
like
the
the-
USS Enterprise A, you have the NX-01 refit there, you had the USS Voyager, you had the Bounty. What else did we have
A
there?
bunch of other ships you never heard of,
Yeah.
like the New Jersey
The USS
and
New Jersey, yes.
the Defiant.
And the Defiant.
I was
going
going to ask about the Defiant.
Defiant is there. Yeah.
First ship you
and
saw.
they play the music.
Yeah. Oh, even when they showed the Genesis device, they played that theme.
Yeah, so every ship that they show, they get the music based off of their series. So you got the Voyager music as well, which was cool, which was pretty cool actually.
Yeah.
So, anyways, they steal the cloaking device, and they go over and they rescue the crew off of the Daystrom Institute, and they start talking with Data, who's multiple personalities. He's a little not there and right. But basically he says they're there to steal a weapon. They're like, what weapon? And he's looking at Picard. And he's like, Jean-Luc Picard. They're like, what are you talking about? Well, they stole the body of Jean-Luc Picard. So
It was in stasis there.
which was in stasis there. So his original body is there. Riker is captured. He's brought aboard the the Strike, and there is his wife Deanna Troi, who is being held captive by the Changelings as well. Episode ends.
To motivate Riker to turn on his friends.
Yeah. You'll know I'll never betray Picard. And they're like, I know that. But...
How long have they been married?
Yeah, that's a great question.
You're going to need better motivation than
you
that.
need better motivation.
What if
than
their kid was there?
So this is an
That's a
episode.
different story.
Yeah,
This episode is like the Easter egg
it's a lot of
fan service episode of the series.
How did that translate?
Because
thus far, I think from both of you guys, you've been nothing but praising the entire season.
Yeah, I thought a lot of the Easter eggs were a little heavy-handed this episode. It didn't make me dislike the episode, but it did slightly detract in some ways for me.
Because there were a ton of them.
Like they showed an Easter egg of like the Genesis device. They showed that they have James Kirk body there. I didn't need those Easter eggs. I like the idea of showing the ships because my theory is, the series is basically saying Starfleet can track us wherever we go in these newer ships. Like we can't get away with the newer ships.
I love Battlestar Galactica.
Yes, exactly. Same idea. So I think to me, my theory is that these ships are going to come back into play. They're going to have to steal these ships to escape. And it would be really cool to see them escaping on the original Enterprise bridge.
Dude, I would kill to see the A's bridge again.
Oh, that was a good bridge.
It's a good looking bridge.
Yeah.
It's lit.
It's lit.
Yeah, there's lights on it, unlike anything else.
Oh, it's actually lit.
Yeah, it's actually lit.
Unlike anything else in Star Trek now. So they steal his body. Like that's the big point of the episode. They steal Picard's body.
So how do you feel about? Let's start there. How do you feel about that being this big weapon, bigger than a portal device?
So I said it to you in this text, right? Like Rob's like, well, how is his body a weapon? So initially they're wanting to capture Jack. Jack, we find out, has the syndrome that Picard had. What is it called? Aromatic syndrome, which ultimately led to Picard's death, which is why they transferred his body into the synthetic body. So they're wanting him for this aromatic syndrome. And now they can't get Jack, so what else can we get? We can get Picard's body. My thing is, these are changelings who are angry at the Federation for releasing a virus onto them and almost killing their people. So now they're going to use the body of Picard and Jack to create a virus off the aromatic syndrome.
And release it. That's not a bad theory.
Release it back into the Federation. Like their own genetic.
Okay.
And maybe the thing that they planted in Jack is why they want Jack is because he has what they need in order to mass produce this.
But did they plant anything in Jack? We don't know that.
See, I don't know. We never saw the aromatic syndrome affect Picard the way it's affecting Jack.
Yeah, where he's having like dreams of the red door.
So I think there's more to it than just maybe that.
Yeah.
Or maybe the aromatic syndrome allows this virus to mutate to something else.
Yeah.
So I think there's a little bit more to it than just simple that syndrome that they want to mass produce.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because it doesn't affect a lot of cats till they're older anyway.
Right.
And they'd want to attack younger.
Well, and I'm assuming this is an extremely rare genetic disorder because there's got to be more people who would have it.
Well, they said it's rare in All Good Things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because that was the thing. That's where it comes from. Duh.
Yeah.
Because that's why he's hallucinating.
Because remember, during the first season of Picard, we were kind of like, why isn't it aromatic syndrome what it was in All Good Things, but it was his terminal prognosis?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a little contention.
Anyways.
Yeah. That's a lot of nerding out, Joe.
Yeah.
You got a lot of catch up to do.
Well, what I'm thinking is, are these episodes more in the way that the Next Generation was, where they're episodic? It's like
yes and no.
Yeah,
I mean, there's an issue and it's solved pretty much in the same episode, or this more DS9 where we're telling a story leading up to something bigger?
It's a 10-hour movie.
It is a movie because, like, are there issues that are solved in episodes? Yes, but like more issues are presented by the end. Like,
the prior episode was your most standalone of the bunch.
Imposters?
Yes.
Yeah, with Ro Laren on there.
It was kind of like your middle ground, reset what happened before, and now tell the story moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I see what that's a very common trope especially in Star Trek.
In the middle act, they're really looking at this as a 10-hour movie.
So usually, the middle act is
always kind of the
we're
reset.
Set up Act 3. Up.
Okay.
So
it's always going. Now you transition to the end of the movie, which I think that's what that episode was meant to do.
I did enjoy this episode a lot. I would say I did. I did like the Voyager stuff that she brought in and how that was her home and her family.
Absolutely warranted.
It was great. Seeing some of these ships was pretty cool. I like how you saw the refit of the NX-01 instead of the actual original NX-01.
Makes sense.
So there was some good stuff in there. The Easter eggs didn't. I mean, while I feel like they were a detraction from it, they didn't kill the episode. Like the episode kept steaming along, that it was okay.
It overcame the distractions. What you're saying?
Yeah, like so many things get lost in their Easter eggs and lost in the nostalgia that carries the show. And Picard so far has done a really good job, especially this season with the Next Generation crew, to not feel like the nostalgia is what's carrying the crew. It's more the good stories and their interactions and how their relationships have changed. Like Geordi saying no to Picard never would have happened.
One thing I really appreciate Geordi. So when they originally released that first trailer, it made him seem like he was going to be like
a jerk,
spiteful towards Picard. Like you did this. I very much appreciate that they didn't do that.
Yeah, it wasn't that at all. It was more like, yeah, I would do anything for you. And then I had kids.
The meatloaf.
And now I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. But like his kids are there and he's worried about protecting his children. And who of us wouldn't do that? Joe is going to punch some guy in Detroit over this.
I would kill somebody.
Yeah.
Pay attention for Monday's episode.
Pay attention for Monday's episode. Joe gets into a fight in Detroit.
Yeah.
So we all get that now as parents. Now, back when Next Generation aired, none of them had kids except for Crusher.
Yeah.
That was it.
And she tried to get rid of Wesley.
Well,
Worf did.
Worf tries to get well, Worf is not who we look to as a model parent.
I'm really
No, we don't look to him.
I appreciate his parenting style.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
His parenting sucks. I don't want to do it.
But again, Riker continues to be amazing in this episode.
Man, Jonathan Frakes is
his
so good.
interactions with Worf are incredible.
Joe, just for Worf now, you have to watch this show.
Worf
said nobody ever.
No, Worf, you will like Worf in this.
When we rewatched DS9, he was not a Worf fan, and it's because Worf somewhat warranted.
Yeah,
but he was just such a stiff
man. I think you'd get a kick out of it.
I should warn you, I now prefer pacifism. And he's like, we're all going to die.
I don't even recognize this world anymore.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Or like when he's like picking on Worf and Worf doesn't give it back to him. He's like, what's wrong with you? You used to fight back. You're not even fighting back anymore. Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's great.
It's pretty good. I would give this episode 7.5. 7.5.
Yeah,
okay, that's a bit soft. That's a bit softer within where you guys have been landing.
Yeah, I've been
8.5. Yeah, I thought you liked it a little bit more than a 7.5 the way you were talking about it.
I might rewatch it to see.
I'll tell you what, when this season, I can tell you 100% when this season's done, I'm going back and rewatching the whole thing again.
Yeah, I like the Moriarty little thing.
I do appreciate that they didn't bring him back more because he would have gone up with the Enterprise.
Well, like I told you, they only filmed one day with him, and that's why I'm like, he's not going to have a big role in this. He only filmed a day, which means 4 minutes at most of screen time, and literally it was 4 minutes of screen time.
It made sense for what was going on in the story.
Yeah. So it was Data trying to talk to them using stuff from their past to try to talk to them, which was great.
Rob, where do you land on your rating?
I'm probably about the same.
7.5?
Yeah, I didn't like as much as Nick. When he was texting me that, oh, this is so good, it's so good. I wasn't quite there, but it was a 7.5. No less than a 7.5. That's for sure.
I'm trying to let me find.
I agree with the assessment that
you have to go to the text thread that doesn't have me in it.
Well, because you were watching it.
I still want to be included.
Well, watch it, and we'll get you included.
Man, you guys, never mind. You won't want to do it. You won't want to include me because
in a heartbeat if you were to watch it.
So my initial text was, this episode is full of fan service. I love it. And Rob's like, an F ton of it, but was it too much? I love the idea of them saving the legacy ships for a museum, and I love seeing Geordi. Said, I'm in the middle. This one feels a bit too heavy-handed, but I enjoy it. Shaw's fawning over LaForge was great. So Shaw, the captain, right, hates Riker, hates Picard. It doesn't treat him like, doesn't care about them. Geordi walks on the ship, and he's like, he's in love with him because he's a fellow engineer. So
and Geordi's a legendary engineer.
Only if it was O'Brien.
Yeah, or Scotty.
Oh, and they're talking about Picard like getting all these charges and like that's mutiny. It's like add it to my tab was one of them.
That's a boss statement right there.
At one point, Worf says, "How did they do it?" My guess, superior Klingon technology. It's like no one's ever said that. But so Rob is agreeing, and I said, "Nice twist. The remains of Picard." How much of that, Riker's one line, how much of that goo shit did they pour into you? Who was that to? That was
to Vedic.
To Vedic. Yeah. How much of that goo shit did they pour into you?
They swear in this one?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Riker alone's worth watching this season of Picard.
Oh, he
Well,
is.
Jonathan Frakes has done a phenomenal
Friend
job.
of the show, Jonathan Frakes.
What
of the
episode
show.
was that?
I don't know off the top of my head. Sorry.
69.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
But it was. I like how the story overcame the Easter egg potential concern.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as a follow-up, there's an interview. So when you watch these, you have the opportunity to watch Ready Room, which is an after show with Will Wheaton. He
Okay.
interviews
Friend of the show, Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton, another one that's been on the show.
Will Wheaton.
Plug.
Yes.
It's in the videos on YouTube. He interviews LeVar Burton's real daughter, who's on the show, and then his actress daughter, who's in the show.
Is the real daughter the daughter who's on Daystrom with him?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was such a wonderful interview. Just watching them interact, the two girls get along so well, and just LeVar Burton just as LeVar Burton.
Yeah.
And it was a great interview.
Reading Rainbow.
It's worth a watch.
Okay.
So it was a great
Kunta
episode.
Kinte as well.
Oh, or
But that's a little darker.
Geordie LaForge.
Or Jodie LaForge.
This is a Star Trek
Yeah.
YouTube exclusive.
Okay, can I ask a question that
No.
might be it's definitely suited for our Star Trek conversation, but it might be also suited for the show. Our main show.
Okay.
Do you think with Star Trek Discovery going off the air and Picard going off the air, now we just have Strange New Worlds? Is there anything in Picard right now that you see as them potentially setting up for to explore in the future?
Give me a Titan show.
I will piggyback off that. So one thing I was going to mention the main show, but we were running out of time per usual, is that there was an interview with Terry Matalas where he has pitched called Star Trek Legacy, which is a 25th century show which would continue from this, but maybe branch off into other things.
Okay.
And a lot of the actors, including the young lady who plays Sydney LaForge, really wants it. They've quoted Michael Dorn as being interested. There's a lot of interest out there for it.
Do a Titan with Riker as the captain, with 7 to 9 as the
What about
second
your boy
in
Shaw?
command. Shaw goes on and does his own thing.
I thought you had a hard on for
I
him.
like Shaw, but like he doesn't need to be like, or they could do like a multiple starship thing. Like they could go between multiple starships.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking that would happen is that they would.
And I'd be on
kinda branch
Jefferson's
out.
starship.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I have a follow-up question to this. When they inevitably do, because they're not just going to sit on
No,
they're not
'cause
just going to sit
they're doing
on
too
Strange
good
New
right
World.
now. Yeah.
Will the next one be something that already has an built around something that's already been established, like a character or a ship or something like that, or are they going to do something that's
Wholly original,
a la Discovery? Again?
I think it'll be a mix.
I think what they would do is take one of these characters on this show, whether it be the Titan, whether it be the younger LaForge, or whether it be Shaw, or whatever it is, and do something with that.
I'd watch a show based around Shaw as the captain, though.
Would
He's done enough to me.
Would
to
his routine
warrant,
get tired though?
Hobbs and Shaw,
yeah.
Star Trek Hobbs and Shaw.
Sean Hobbs
with the Rock in it?
No.
No, we don't like the Rock anymore. We're off the Rock train again.
Yeah, we're off that rock.
Yeah, we are. Oh, there's a reminder that it's time for us to be done.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Subtle.
We've hit our 10-minute mark.
I
We're
guess
done
so.
here.
But yeah, so there's I was actually going to forward you guys a couple articles today about some things they've said recently.
Okay.
Cool.
Because I think someone said something about
Yeah.
like a Dominion War,
No.
Star Trek.
Here's the
and-
thing. They would do that. They would do a Dominion War about the aftermath of the Dominion War and still find a way not to include any DS9 or DS9 characters.
I know, of course.
And it would just piss me off.
Yeah. I
Like-
think it's too late to do that. I think you got to move on from that.
I think you move on from this point in time in the 25th century
Yeah.
and just continue where you're at. I don't want to see another prequel or an early continuation. I want to see something here where we're at now.
What if they did a Prime Universe, or rebooted it kind of like the movies did and gave you a younger Kirk and crew, kind of like Strange New Worlds?
Well, they already have that in Strange New Worlds.
But what if they gave you like a reboot of the original series?
No, not with Strange New Worlds in there.
Okay.
It doesn't make any sense. You
Yeah.
can
No,
you
it's
continue
too-
Strange New Worlds into that.
That's what I'm saying. Like you do.
I don't want Pike to go anywhere or his hair.
I know. I don't want Pike to go anywhere. Dreamy.
Not at all.
Dreamy. Well, folks, that's it. That's all you get. Sorry, you got to tune into the podcast.
Joe, what'd
for
you
more
rate it?
conversation.
I can't rate it anything more than a 7.5 like
Ooh,
you guys.
All right,
yeah,
all
yeah,
right.
that's a good rating.
I
Joe.
respect
that's a
that.
good solid rating. Yeah, but yay, folks, yay. Did I say yay?
Yay.
Yay?
Thanks
Kanye?
for joining us. Yay, nay,
Yay.
yay, Kanye. No, thanks for joining us, folks. This was Nick.
This is Rob.
This is Joe.
Thanks for keeping up with us. Peace.